All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here with Dr. Feiner.
Hello.
He's agreed to answer some of the questions. I have the YouTube video up on the screen, and we're going to just go off of them one by one, and hopefully we can answer them or point you in the right direction to find the answer. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so for the first one, it says, I've heard people say they remove their stomach due to cancer. How does one digest food without a stomach?
Okay, and I defer to my GI, gastroenterological colleagues, but I'm sure you need to replenish a lot of the enzymes, etc., that are normally found only in the stomach.
Yeah.
And you also have to worry about absorption of meds. And in fact, as I think of it, you also have to replace the nutrients that are only generated in the stomach. So I'm sure it's a complex soup of treatment.
Yeah.
You need your stomach.
Sure. I think you can probably Google a little bit more information, different research that has gone through those clinical trials.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Or I'll just, in response to that, say if you can use PubMed,
Right.
much better than Google.
Yeah.
Because with Google, you're going to get a lot of junk.
Mm-hmm.
So if you search PubMed on gastrectomy, reviews, and last 5 years, you'd probably find a lot of articles, but you could skim through the titles and pick some. You'd become an expert.
So.
Okay?
Okay, so for the next question, Ali says, what would Dr. Feiner say is the most prevalent trait successful doctors possess? If you could sum it or narrow it down to one.
Okay, all right, now that is a tricky question. I didn't realize that's how he worded it. It depends how you define successful.
Right.
Okay, and I'm sorry to say that if you define successful in terms of how much income you generate each year, that will lead to a certain type of success. If you define success as on the other hand, on the percentage of useful treatments or cures, that will define a different sort of doctor. But I'm thinking successful means a doctor who actually helps people, not a doctor who makes a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor who actually helps people, I don't know that there's any one trait. Certainly you have to know your field very well, no question about it. And you also have to know medicine very well. You have to know whether what the patient presents with is within your skill set or not, okay? You know, doctors have a habit, which is, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, of attempting to treat what they understand. So they, in effect, shoehorn every patient, they try to shoehorn them into their disease specialty.
Right.
And that can be a mistake. So you really have to know your medicine and make the diagnosis correctly and know whether or not you have treatments for it. And that requires a lot of knowledge. Pay attention in medical school. Don't stop learning when you graduate. Read the literature, go to seminars. Okay. 2, you've got to love what you're doing. You got to be prepared to put in those long weeks, those 70, 80 hour per weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You just do. And I would say that involves a love of what you're doing, okay? So the doctor who is driven, but who doesn't love what he or she is doing might burn out. So you've got to, love of profession is very important. Knowledge of profession and love of profession. And, you know, ability, if that's the right word, to make the sacrifice that those entail.
Right.
There are many people who simply can't, they love what they're doing. They're willing to spend 80, 85 plus hour weeks, but it's going to destroy their health, it's going to destroy their family. So you need a very supportive family. I just finished reading a really interesting biography of Harvey Cushing. Have you ever heard of Harvey Cushing?
Don't think so.
He's considered, he practiced maybe in the early part of the 20th century.
Okay.
He sort of is credited with inventing or perfecting neurosurgery. World famous neurosurgeon. First at Johns Hopkins, then at Harvard. And this great biography by Michael Bliss, who's a U of T historian, describes a driven, super successful, super famous neurosurgeon. But you can read between the lines and see what he put his family through, especially his wife.
Right.
Tremendous sacrifice. Your spouse, your partner has to be able to support you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a trait or quality, but if you're fighting against that,
Something you have to consider.
yeah.
Now, I just want to clarify. I'm assuming Ali isn't in medical school. So how about let's list off a couple of personal attributes.
Personal.
I feel like he might be leaning towards that. So you've answered the professional kind of traits. What about some quick personal ones?
Personal. Okay, so in addition to being smart
Yeah.
and ready to work hard, well,
Some that come to mind is compassion, empathy.
well, certainly compassion and empathy. Okay, but without the dedication and the brilliance, compassion and empathy aren't enough. Yeah. If you start, but then you sort of bleeding over into the some people are attracted to medicine because of for the monetary rewards,
Right.
who don't necessarily have the compassion and empathy.
Mhm.
So absolutely compassion, empathy, yes, very important. Right. Sympathy. I'd say that there are two flavors of that. There are plenty of physicians who are empathetic and compassionate, but they see the patient as a second-class citizen, as opposed they're not a super person like the doctor is. So if you have compassion and empathy and you're able to fully appreciate the humanity, the value of your patient as a person, that's ideal. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that makes sense. Hopefully that answered your question, Ali. Those are the two questions that came up. Thank you so much for commenting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it brought value to you. And we still have 2 more CBL cases, right, next week? Because we had 4 last week.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, if you guys have any more questions, you can comment it underneath this video. Have a great day.